Okay, today I'll show you how I dial in what I'll consider a light to medium espresso roast bean using the Decent. Okay, so this is that's the bean from Nomad, and okay, so you have a look at that. It doesn't look like a light roast, but it's a bit the way the roast is done is a bit insoluble, not very soluble. So yep, and as you can see, I already sort of dialed in already, and it's just at the very fine setting on my monolith. Normally, most medium beans will be around here. Medium to dark beans will actually go even further. So this is actually very fine. Okay, and because of that, I'm using a 15 gram basket. So because it's so fine, instead of my normal 16 grams, I'm using 16.5. all right, okay, I'll come back to you again after I ground it and start pulling the shot. I'm using the adaptive adaptive profile. So you can see, in general, what I try to do is during my dialing in, I'll look at the resistance and try to get a resistance something of similar shape like that, where it goes up, where there's some resistance, and you can see that after the dripping and where the pressurizing starts, you can see the slow drop of the pressure in order to maintain a flow. So at this is a bit fast because, as I explained already, the bean is a bit insoluble, so it tends to flow faster, which is why I need to grind so fine. So yeah, even at such a fine settings, it's going about 3 mils per second. The timing is about 29 seconds. I think it's around there. It could be, I'm not too sure. And actually this shot at about 46 grams, 16.5, tastes a bit watered out. It has the acidity is there, but it doesn't have a good finish. It doesn't have the finish is very short. So maybe I should reduce it to 42 or even 40 for my next shot. But in general, that's how I dial it in. There are times when, especially for this type of beans, where it's insoluble, not very soluble, and where you have to grind very fine, you may not even be able to reach a peak puck pressure, and you'll see that it probably, it's just a very weak puck, and it starts to degrade over time, but yet it produces very nice, sweet, complex flavors. But that's fine. So you do have to fine tune it accordingly. So, but the first thing I normally do is I try to find a grind size in which I see a peak like that, and a good some kind of curve like this. So and there are quite a few times where you do have beans where you, even though I achieved the puck resistance, I felt that it was over extracted, and yeah, and I had to, my dial-in is such that the puck resistance just doesn't really happen. It was just very weak and just breaks down almost. But I had a very good, a much more better pull because of that. Yeah. So and the problem with light beans is that, well, medium to light beans, I won't say this is not light. Is that sometimes the only way for me to detect that it's over extracted is not the extreme bitterness you get from medium roast, but rather that there's a bitterness that sticks to your tongue as an aftertaste. Yeah. So, and that's how it sort of determine whether it's over extracted. Okay, so that's it for my dial-in for today. Thank you. So, what does it taste like in a milk-based drink? Let me try it out. Yeah, definitely a bit. It can be sweeter because I did have a much more better. It has caramel biscuit like the drink, but this round, yeah, I pull a bit too long and sweetness is a bit muted, even though I still have a bit of a caramel biscuit and a bit of nutty finish, but the finish is short. There's a very short finish. Let me see. Yep, it's a pretty short finish, a bit like the espresso itself. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the TDS. Okay, so the TDS. Let's wait. Let me just taste a bit more. See, okay, 8.7. That's a bit lower than I expected. Yeah, previously, getting the 9 extraction up to 9. So today, yeah, for some reason it's went down quite a lot. Just need to. But but don't forget, is even though it's 8.7, I'm doing a 1 to 2.7. I'm doing a 1 to 2.7 pool, which means it's actually above 18 already, right? So yeah, but the TDS does shows that just confirms the taste. It's a bit, I can extract a bit more, or sorry, I extract a bit too much. The sweetness has been watered down, yeah, and there's a short finish. Alright, that's all for today, and thank you for listening.